This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
This week we are talking about erotic self-focus. And then the second half of this podcast is not about that. Enjoy.
Can I put my feet down if...
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel crowded?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought you would like being touchy because that's how we normally sit.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
Well, I mean...
I thought
we normally don't have mics and cameras and lights.
No, but honey, you're a pro now.
So the whole normally sit thing, it's like,
You know
this
what?
isn't normal, babe. This isn't...
No, I know. I know it's not normal.
I kind of did my hair this morning. This isn't normal.
It looks really good.
Thanks, babe.
It looks really good. Welcome back, my love. We're a day early. Does it feel too soon?
No.
Does it
No.
feel too soon to be back?
Mm-mm.
I did think sound-wise you sounded better last time in this new. I got a little loud.
Oh, you did?
When I get excited about something,
That's fine.
I get very excited.
That's okay.
Honey, I know what I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I want to talk about this thing that I know you've heard me talk about a lot, but I didn't realize how much I hadn't been talking about it because it's recently, oh, you're so handsome. It's recently blowing my clients' minds again. And I thought I want a podcast episode on that because I want to make sure that you and I are openly discussing this so that I can disseminate it to clients, but also because I think the world needs to talk about this more. It is erotic self-focus and the propensity of people in female bodies to be more erotically self-focused. I will expound because I've never called it erotic self-focus before, but I have told you before that I am turned on by myself. I have told you before that in fantasies, I am thinking about my experience in the fantasy. I have told you that, you know, even in some of our interactions when we are talking about a fantasy or we are having a sexual encounter, I've told you that I get turned on by seeing myself with you, like in a mirror, or imagining me, like almost like I'm watching myself have sex. I've researched this before. I think I first stumbled into it in the book Untrue by Wednesday Martin, where she shares this research. And I was like, why are you smiling?
No, just Wednesday Martin. I was like, oh, I've read Thursday Carol's work.
Anyway, this is a phenomenon that is not often thought.
Erotic self-care?
Erotic self-focus.
Okay.
Okay. Is that women, we'll speak for that right now, are more turned on by themselves than their sexual partners. Men do not fall into this category as much. Men are really into the body that they're having sex with.
Uh-huh.
That's like really up high on their list.
What's the difference between erotic self-focus and overt narcissism?
See, this is what a client asked the other day. It has nothing to do with it because it is an erotic experience. 100%. Somebody said to me the other day, I can't tell my husband this because he already thinks I'm selfish.
Okay.
And I need to blow this out of the water.
Can I do this? Can I go zip zip on the mouth and you explain again what this is, and then can you give me a scenario on what it looks like actually in either what self, like in like see zip zip.
Okay. When women have a personal pleasure practice time, when they masturbate or self-stimulate, whatever you want to call it, and researchers ask them about their fantasies, for 80-something% of women, when they are fantasizing, they are viewing themselves in an out-of-body experience with someone else. The someone else matters not. What they are turned on by is the experience inside of their own body. What they are witnessing, the witnessing of themselves. The experience. When women watch porn, and I thought this the other morning when we watched that incredible Erica Lust film. I am endlessly turned on by the experience of the woman's body. So we will do this too. In a porn, we will imagine what it feels like This is called erotic self-focus. When we are having actual sexual encounters with our primary sex partner, we will, A, love things like last night, using a mirror, seeing ourselves. Then, if I close my eyes, I am also seeing myself. If I am fantasizing about being someone else, when I use the fantasy of, oh, I'm another woman having sex with you for the first time, it's because I want to be in her body, experiencing the sensations, the narrative that she lives in. It has weirded some of my clients out when I've brought this up because they have said to me, I thought I was broken. I thought this idea that I was like a fly on the wall was leftover Jesus shit, that I was feeling guilty, and so I was looking in third person. No, I need to blow this out of the water. That's not what this is. This is erotic self-focus. There is nothing wrong with us feeling like we are watching ourselves having sex. It is a studied phenomenon that is different than the male-bodied experience. Some men would say this. They did a survey. They asked if women would have sex with themselves. 80-something% said yes, whereas in men, we're like, huh? I've never really considered that. Huh? And women said, fuck yes, I would.
Okay.
Because that's like, in their minds, it's not narcissism. It is, oh my goodness, I would get to experience these sensations that I feel twice.
In a sentence, excuse me, in a sentence, what is the definition of erotic self-focus again?
I will read you the actual definition.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of obsessed with this right now.
Okay.
So many people think that when we are having sex, we are absorbed in the human being that we're having sex with. Sure, for some people they are. I am not one of them. And I need to come out of the erotic self-focus closet, because a few of my clients have been like, "You're not? What? You're not just laying there and letting your partner like do things to your body and just having these spontaneous orgasms and yada yada." Hi, I play a very active role in my sex life. Do I not?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know. I know we know this, but I realized we had been too quiet about it. Mm-hmm. I think people don't. I don't know. Okay. Self-directed attention plays a key role in women's sexual arousal and desire. Some theorists have gone so far as to suggest that women are, to some extent, their own erotic objects. Is this blowing your mind? Are you confused?
I'm confused. What's the opposite of it?
Focus on the other.
Okay, so the opposite of erotic self-focus is just...
Other focus. Erotic other focus.
In a fantasy, what would be the opposite?
I can explain this very clearly. When we tell each other's fantasies, when you tell me your fantasies, I tell you my fantasies. Mm-hmm. You're often telling me about the person you are having sex with, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. I love it. Either fictitious, real, whatever.
Or the scenario? Is that something different? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is confusing for me.
When you are fantasizing. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad we found a confusing thing. Are you thinking about this is going to get graphic, holding the ass in front of you, and like the moment you penetrate that body, like I want you to go deep into your fantasies. Good morning.
It's flashes. It's like flashes. Yeah, it's usually flashes of like the flesh, or sometimes it's seeing it from like almost like a camera angle, but that almost sets up the scenario. It's almost like an establishing shot in a movie, so then you can go to a close-up.
And then and then tell me, I mean, I've never asked you this either, so this is on me too. This is fascinating.
And then it's like it's either feelings or sensations or sounds, and it's usually a flash of those things for me.
Sounds coming out of her mouth?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
sensations.
My mouth. Like imagining, me fantasizing about my own moaning sounds.
Okay,
corny
you laugh
as shit.
In the research.
That's self-focus.
In the research, women moan to hear themselves. I 100% moan to hear myself.
Okay. It's interesting where I've given myself more permission to like moan during orgasm in the last couple of years more than I ever have in my life.
Do you
Where
think
it's
it's
like, it feels
because
great.
your wife is so noisy that it's like it's almost a form of group permission?
But I think it's like permission where it's like, do you enjoy? I think you enjoy it, and I enjoy
do
it. I
enjoy
enjoy
it.
actually hearing it and like letting out like a sound. And that's I've given myself permission because in the past it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so you just said the sensations, the images, the sounds. Again, this is just fascinating. They are of the person you are having sex with in the fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah. Ask me.
Ask what do you fantasize about?
The moments like the strap comes off on my shirt, the way my nipples show through the white t-shirt that I'm wearing, the moment someone else's hand touches me, the feeling of being right like pinned down, the comments on my vulva, it is all self-focused.
Would it also be like how you look in the mirror or how your
Yes.
body's moving, say if you're watching yourself? Or if you're fantasizing about like how you would be moving?
Yes.
That would be self-focused. Okay.
Yes.
And you're saying it's healthy and wonderful and needs to be celebrated.
It is healthy
Yeah, fuck yeah.
and beyond wonderful. And folks think that it is selfish. And I need to go on record to say erotic self-focus is not selfish.
Is an example. Okay, last night we were, well, guys, we're having sex in the mirror. These things happen. Okay, and I love watching you in the mirror. And I was looking at myself, and there was like the lighting, and I liked, because I struggle with liking the way my body looks. And there were glimpses of me, and I actually liked the way my body looks.
Yay.
Is that an
Yes.
example of erotic self-focus?
That was you leaning into it. And I even in my mind had to be like, yes, Lauren, you're going to talk about this tomorrow. Don't talk about this
Did you
right
ever
now.
see American Psycho, honey, starring Christian Bale?
No.
There's a famous scene where he has two sex workers, and he's in the mirror, and he's like filming it, and he's like flexing, and he's doing all of these overtly, extremely narcissistic, sociopathic things in the mirror.
That's not what I'm talking
And he is a psychopath in his own mind. What's the difference between self-focus and being a me-first narcissist?
Such a good question.
And then I think that's what I run into in my mind thinking about it, and that's probably what your clients are running into also.
Yeah, that's why I
Where
wanted
it's like,
to
I
talk
don't
about
want to
this.
be this, because I don't admire narcissism. I don't want to be narcissistic.
Nor do I want to suggest that that's what I am referencing.
So where's the line between that and then where's the permission point of like, this is the difference, I encourage this.
Okay, well, let's break it down, because a person you do have sex with often, occasionally, she likes to see herself in the mirror. Do I
Yeah.
feel like a narcissistic lover to you?
No.
Okay.
Oh, because you're not a narcissistic person.
I think if someone is in a relationship with someone who has narcissistic tendencies,
Yeah.
we should maybe address that first before
Good luck.
getting into bed with them. Yeah, maybe you should just gently depart. Just gently depart. Get into some therapy and have your therapist help you gently depart this narcissistic relationship. Yeah, I think I tell people often that we can tell a lot about a person and how they're going to make love far before we're in bed with them. The way they ask questions, the way they center the conversation, the way they share, the way they give and receive, the way they communicate. These things are going to say a lot about how a person has sex. When I am utilizing erotic self-focus, it is to enhance our shared experiences of making love. Now, when I am in a self-pleasure practice, it doesn't matter at all. This is for me. This is a solo sex experience. And so I thoroughly enjoy being there, right? I am giving this gift to myself. This is for me. as self-pleasure practices. But when, last night, I wore those like knee-high socks or those like thigh-high socks underneath my pants because it's freezing cold. But when I put them on, I was like, this is kind of fun. And actually, I can't wait until I take these pants off because this is going to be fun because I'm going to have these like really high socks on. I knew what shoes I was going to wear. I purposely chose my underwear. Like, it was a whole little thing. That is a moment of erotic self-focus, of taking some time to think, ooh, I'm going to look a certain way in this afterwards, and I will enjoy the experience of slowly taking off my jeans, wanting to get my lover's attention from across the room. I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, I didn't like go to the closet and just like start changing. I took them off and I just kind of like was doing my thing in those socks. So then when I bent over the bed, sorry everyone, I was so enjoying the sensations of your hands on my body, which I think you were enjoying the experience as well. And I was enjoying in my mind how I knew it must look. I was so enjoying that. When my eyes were closed, I was imagining what it would look like to be seeing this. I don't have like a person it's not a whole scenario. There's not like a certain crowd watching in my mind. It's just there. That is my experience. Was I in body? Yes, but I'm also out of body, like watching and feeling. And it's magical. But that moment came about because of my power of erotic self-focus. So I want to be very clear here that it was for a shared experience. And this is why I will talk forever about desirability being so important, because if we don't see ourselves as desirable, it's going to get in the way of our sexual experiences. Yeah.
Okay.
Does it disturb you? Does it frustrate you? I feel like you're kind of like, meh, meh, meh.
Right now? Mm-hmm. I'm not comfortable in these chairs.
Oh.
I'm not comfortable turning my neck like this. I'm just aware that I'm on camera.
Okay.
I'm just not comfortable in my own body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to pause and make something 10% more comfy?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Great.
Okay, we're back. We moved the chairs.
We are.
We're FFT in this, so it's we just had a conversation about Lauren is comfy, it being messy in order to create, and I'm comfy in cleaning it up so it's tidy so I can create. Does that make sense? Where I need the room clean before I can go into deep work, say like my office. And then Lauren, it's okay if everything's a little chaotic, she can create in that. Is that correct?
No, I'm so glad you differentiated that, because I mean that in the process of creation, there is mess. I don't like mess. Like this room was very tidy. This room is not messy. That would drive me crazy.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So it was
in the process of birthing something.
Okay.
There is discomfort.
Understand. For me, it was messy that that my neck was turned and I couldn't put my feet on the ground. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and to me, that's a thing that we need to fix on our way to birthing something.
Okay.
That is not. This type of mess is you taking 20 shitty golf shots on the way to one good golf shot.
Yeah.
That's this type of mess to me. This is discomfort. I also cannot create in chaos.
Okay.
So this feels like the discomfort that you feel on the way to birthing something new.
Okay.
And it's hard. Mm-hmm. It's hard. So thank you. We were talking about erotic self-focus before this. Do you want to just wrap it up and call this a day, or do you want to?
We could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel feelings of sadness now.
Okay. Yeah, I feel feelings like I'm failing you right now.
Failing me?
Yeah. Where I'm not kind of in a light mood. I don't really know why. So.
Yeah, I can feel in the stirrings. Like if I wanted to, I could cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't done enough.
Okay. Yeah, and I feel, where it's like I can't meet your energy, and which is, I love your energy, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah, where do you think we're off? Like on what planes?
I feel behind, or I feel like, okay, we have to wrap this up because we got to do this, this, and this. So it's hard for me to, it was a challenge for me to be in the moment. This is better, like actually looking at you like this versus this. It's better for me. I have what you call a fragile neck.
Where's the research on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know how it was, you wanted to get to a point where it's like we don't sit in the chairs and you can feel my stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't like hide it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what is and is not stressful to us is just so different. And yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling feelings.
Talk about your feelings.
It sometimes feels like yeah, if I don't do everything right, it's gonna, like, the window of tolerance is so small. And yeah, I don't like hitting the ceiling that then pushes us over into stressing you out. I don't like it at all. And I'm okay with things not being perfect and being needing a couple times before they're perfect. Like, I'm just so okay with that. And I feel I've tried so hard to speak that into existence, but I feel like I failed that. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel defeated. Like I wanted to go into the sandbox and play, but somebody was like, I don't know, like I got made fun of because of that. This is what I feel. Yeah, for wanting to play or something. That's what I feel. You haven't done that. That is the feeling, though. It feels very vulnerable to want to do something great and make something pretty and different. And it is hard sometimes, the forest and trees thing, because I can see it in my mind, but I can't always make it really clear, and I don't always know exactly what I'm doing, but it's part of my magic. Like, it will get there, and I have to trust in that, and I can trust in that sometimes until I'm questioned, and then when I'm questioned, or I've done something to, like, hurt your neck, which I didn't mean to at all, then I start to, like, seriously go to self-doubt of, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And I think the creation process is just very vulnerable. And yeah. Yeah. Like, I just want to say fuck it. Yeah. Like, and that's interesting in me. I don't usually get that. of like it feels like all my avoidant safety-seeking behaviors are coming in. Like, and it feels very interesting.
Can I share what I'm thinking about? And this is not going to be good for me. I'm literally thinking about, are you close enough to the mic? And then going from low voice to high voice, is it going to be audible? So I'm already thinking about technicals and editing. I don't know if my mind ever got off this morning doing this off of the technicals of this podcast. So, yeah. Yeah. So it's a challenge, and like, you're not doing anything wrong, honey. So a big question for me is like, how do I actually sit in the chairs and be able to listen and not worry about levels and lighting and microphones and what it's going to sound like in post. So I can actually listen to you. And then for me, it's like, oh, you killed the joy in this room. You should have just kind of stayed in where we were in the chairs, and that's not what we do, though. It's not how we operate. We don't bypass. And then we'll even, part of our challenge is actually to say things that we think are dumb or tiny or insignificant.
And to have the threat to kill the mood.
Correct. Have the threat to kill the mood. So, yeah,
Can I tell you something that I sensed in my body when I was talking? Was a statement that my body wanted to make, which was, why is it that I can persevere and you can't,
Sure,
there was
yeah.
something like that in my body. And I really got curious with it literally while I was talking. It was so interesting because that's what wanted to come out. And something I work with all of my clients on, and this has been worked on with me, is whoa. That neglect of yourself is not a virtue. It's a disguise. And for you to expect someone else to do that is pretty low. No one needs to be doing that just because you were made to do that as a little person and as a teenager and as all of these things to make everybody else comfortable does not mean that everybody else needs to do that too. This self-sacrificial power through, be more able to suffer is not a virtue. It's not a virtue. That was something that I had to be. That was a behavior that I had to have. And I don't ever want you to feel like you need to do that too. The deconditioning that needs to happen is in my body. So I just wanted to say that that's there. This the desire to say, oh my God, Trey, go be more easy, right? Blah, 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 blah. That comes from my own shit.
And it's almost like I encourage that too, babe, because you don't have any of that. Not you don't have any, but you don't actually vocalize it, or it's a challenge for you to actually vocalize it, what you just said, where it's like, hey, let's go. Buck the fuck up. Shit like that. And then it's something I encourage in you, and and I can rise to the occasion as well.
Yeah, saying it like that. Like, hey, babe, can you buck the fuck up? I don't know what that means.
It means get with it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Would be different than the tone that I wanted to address this with, which was disgust.
Oh, you went to disgust.
Yes.
Why didn't you share that?
That's what I was trying to share. Did I not share that very clearly?
Well, I mean, disgust is a very clear word.
Yeah.
So you went to go into a disgust. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was disgusted by your inability to power through.
Oh.
When I have an ability to power through because of a fucked up existence for many years.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want you ever to have to take that on. Never. Never.
Thank you for sharing that. It's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
And then my mind goes to fuck you.
Right. That doesn't take us anywhere. So when you were
can
like,
go,
I want you to share
can
these
go
things.
Fuck
exactly.
yourself.
Right.
That's where my mind goes.
Because then both, now we're just triggering.
Because
one
then
another.
I'll just leave.
Right.
I'll
well,
just fucking leave.
That's what I was already feeling that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'll do it all on my own. Right. We both have
Shit, because then my mind would go to good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a happy place.
No.
No. So
Because I
buck the fuck up.
now immediately is like defensiveness and
Of course.
yeah. Yeah. Huh. Well, I think it turned out to be a pretty good podcast.
Everybody's gonna love it.
How do people listen to this shit?
They're still the #1 podcast. 99 podcast episodes later, honey, is the In Conflict one. That's just a fucking train wreck where we sit there and stare at each other. Great content.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. No, I don't think you. So well, explain to me just for a little bit of clarity. When you say buck the fuck up, just.
What you said, get with it, or like, let's go. Or what did you say?
That
the ability to persevere.
That's
what you
not
said.
going to get defensiveness in your body?
You could phrase it in a question. So I have, the perception of ownership.
Yeah. Would you like to buck the fuck up?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very condescending, but do it without the condescension.
Hey, babe, you want to buck the fuck up for me?
How do
you want
probably
me to say
buck
it?
the fuck up. Let's just remove buck the fuck up from the podcast.
It just doesn't really.
Yeah.
Because
like, honey, do you want to persevere? Like, honey, do you want to? I know you're uncomfortable. Do you want to get through this? Something like that.
Okay.
And I could try, or I could immediately go no, or I could say yes and lie, and be no in all of my actions. So yeah.
That's what I was getting earlier. My desire for this juicy conversation about erotic self-focus.
Yeah.
It now makes so much more sense because you must have just been uncomfortable. Because when I was talking, it's like you couldn't even. Maybe I'm like unintelligible, but yeah, now it all makes sense. I'm so sorry you're so uncomfy. Were you uncomfy after last time?
No. Mm-mm.
We were sitting in the same chairs, right?
Yeah, it was a different day though.
It was a different day.
Yeah.
We each had we're trying a single cam this time. We had our own camera, so we were both. Huh. I'm sorry. Is there anything I can take accountability
Babe, there's
for?
not really anything. No. That you've done or no. There's a big sense of I get fucked up when my mind goes to I'm late, I'm behind. Or we're late, we're behind. We're slow. Brutal honesty. I don't want to be here when the housekeepers are here.
Okay.
So my mind goes to like, you're going to need to rush out of here. It's not rational. But my mind goes to, we are behind. Or I'm behind. So, I got to work on that. Speaking of fucked up, like, yeah, I can fuck up some people's day also.
Where do you think that comes from?
Well, I like being on time.
I know, but where do you think that comes from?
Being late?
Where do you think that comes from?
We started a half hour late.
No. I know where it happens today. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, was your mom late? Places?
Yeah, constantly. She was always late picking me up. So I was always the last kid to get picked up. So like when she says that, like I was the last kid to get picked up, that's not cool. Yeah. I was always the last kid to get picked up. I remember where the teachers were pissed, where the coaches were pissed because they had to stay.
That was literally what I was about to ask. Is do you remember the experiences of the adults in those moments?
Correct. Yeah. And this was like pre-cell phone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, back in the day where you were just gone. You weren't reachable.
Do you feel like I guess an invitation, if you wanted to consider it, is this idea that, it increases value if one is, I don't know. It is like I feel unrest in your body.
Mm-hmm. That's accurate. That's a really accurate
Yeah.
statement. Yeah.
And please hear me. I feel like the audience needs to know that, like, I take it. I want you to know that I acknowledge that we started behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're also recording on a day we don't typically record on.
True. Yeah, we're doing that. And we're doing it with one camera for the very first time. This is an FFT. And yeah, I didn't have a lot of grace for any of that. And it probably has to do with, like, we got to scramble out. I take that back. I have to move fast to get out the door now, too, if I want what I want, which is, God damn. So, yeah, if I start one of these with, like, the sense of, like, I'm way behind, it's gonna be hard for me to be present. And thanks for moving the chairs. This makes a world of difference for me too.
Okay.
Well, the other time just wasn't comfy for me.
Okay.
But FFT. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, sorry to kill your joy, honey.
It's okay. You and I say all the time that sacrificing one's own needs for fear of killing the joy, killing the mood, it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a better experience. Yes, I feel joy killed right now, 100%. I will be honest. But keeping me comfortable is not loving.
Okay.
And I would so much rather you do what you did and us work through this temporary discomfort than feel like you couldn't, right? I shouldn't, I couldn't, I blah, blah, blah. No, it's okay. It's my responsibility to figure out my joy meter. And it's okay. We'll work through this. We do have conversations off camera, even if the audience doesn't believe it. And it's okay. And it's my job to be like, no, my creative process not everybody gets it. And my trees, man, I am the forest woman. I just am. And I don't need to be ashamed of it.
Would you want to do this by yourself? Would that make things easier?
Do my partnership podcast?
Yeah.
Who am I going to talk to?
I mean, you just talk. Like, you're so good at talking. Would you want to do it by yourself?
No, that's what I got really sad about, was that I don't want to do it myself. And I was like, yeah, the whole purpose of this is for people to see this, ironically, is that partnership can be tricky. And no, I really don't. And I really treasure our once a week, hour-long conversations. Like, I treasure them. Even listening to the tape back from last week, sure, the video footage is weird, but the conversation is really beautiful. And you said, oh, something I didn't get to share about that thing. And you brought a whole different thing up. We never would have had that conversation. I love that we have these conversations. I really do. And we will get it figured out. I know we will.
Is there anything that I need to own?
Own? No. Oh, no. Not own. I think that we can do some things differently next time. But you didn't do anything wrong. I think next time, if I'm late again, which there will be times when I'm late, we can look at each other and we can say, hey, hard out at 9 still.
Yeah.
And I can say hard out at 9 still.
That's one of the things we didn't do.
We didn't do that, so we can do that.
Because that gives me like a buffer in my mind also, where it's like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there are things we could do. There was no intent to harm.
No.
And there was impact, and we are big on saying intent doesn't negate impact. But I impacted you as well. My tardiness impacted you, and your refusal to be intolerant, which is fine. Right, your refusal to be tolerant, impacted me. Yeah, could I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it? I'm fearing my creative process right now.
Okay. That it gets that what?
I'm feeling that I'm bad at it. So this kind of like shook my confidence a little bit.
That you're bad at
creating things, making spaces.
I think you're excellent at it.
Yeah. So I feel a little shook.
This is a recipe for me to like not be present in the room. I think we know that now.
Okay.
It's just a recipe. Can I make a request?
Yeah.
The technicals, and I'm guilty of this, that we not do them on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one camera, that we just not do it on the fly, and that we, but also, that we.
But yeah, when are we supposed to do that? Are we supposed to set a separate time?
Guess it's going to be on me.
No, it's got to be on both of us, because
Okay.
this is what I'm saying is that, I have a certain look that I want in mind, so we need to like block out a time, I guess, to do it.
Okay.
Because I spent hours and hours and hours playing with angles and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We did this one on the fly.
Yeah, but that first time, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Can I share a boo-boo?
Yeah.
Like when you ask for grace on like, hey, can we start at like 8:10? The only boo-boo is like, we're really starting at 8:30.
Okay.
Or maybe later. What am I trying to say? It doesn't really stress me out. I got to share that. Like, what stresses me out is going over, but like the solution to that is like we have a hard out. And that feels really good to me. So if we start at 8:40 and we have 20 minutes, okay. Yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, if we have a hard out, it doesn't stress me out if we start late. Mm-hmm. It genuinely doesn't. And then the me actually physically uncomfortable where I was sitting, I shared it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to step on your creative process. So let me know the things that do kind of like, let me know that and I'll work on that. Or we'll put in stuff. So I do not want to step on your creative process. That's not cool.
Okay.
That's not cool. Yeah. What else feels like confidence shaking right now?
No, it's just it's a thing that's happened my whole life, so this will be a good like journal prompt for me later today. But like and it's a part of my human design. It's everything. Like I've just always been questioned when there's the bumpy in the middle. It was with the new software that I adore now, right? Like people question my process in the middle, and I don't necessarily know how to say like, please just trust me. Like we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm not gonna settle for less than great.
Okay.
I really like great. And I'm also just okay with the messy and the, like, to me, it's part of the learning experience. Like, I need to know when your neck hurts so we can make the seats more comfy. I need to know, yeah, that ankle doesn't work, right? Like, I think I'm going to paint the walls because I hate that blank wall, right? But I can't know until I'm in there. And I am not afraid to continue refining. So, yeah.
Great.
But we can wrap up. Yeah, I'm sorry that I boo-booed you. Really am.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I... Yeah. Kind of turn into a grumpy bastard every now and then.
Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes that emotion is what is more motivational, pushes us forward. Yeah, and it's not my job. I'm really feeling into your emotions are not my job to like diffuse or to go into work, you know?
True.
I am really trying to sit with you get to have those. And since you're my spouse, not my client, it's okay if I say to you, hey, that makes me feel this way.
Yeah.
And I need to go deal with that feeling. Not now you need to fix me because you felt that way. No, okay. So yeah, it felt like my creative process was being like, yeah, told that it's shit. And yeah, that's not you doing that though. That's a lot of other stuff that lives in my body. Yeah, we even talked about it, during the deep dive. Like, did I see that stuff on the dining room table? Like, of course I did. Like, I was seeing it every day. Like, I don't not see things. I just have different priorities. And so when I'm told, yeah, it feels like I'm being told I'm a child. But you're not doing that. That's just what it feels like in my body. Thanks. Lived childhood experiences. Trey's mom was always forgetting him and he was late and inconveniencing coaches and teachers. And I was being told that, yeah, I was a girl and didn't know what I was doing. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast. We know you love it. If you want to learn how to do things like what we just did, you're probably not, but that's fine. You can go to sexitforyou.com/free consult. Please remember these are our opinions, and that's it, and that's all. Oh, you have a right to informed decision-making and self-determination. And yeah, follow, like, subscribe. This is episode 99. So many. Y'all have a good day. I'm going to go hug this person. And thanks for being here. Bye-bye.